Yo, what's up, guys? What's happening out there? Woo, I'm in a rush. I'm one ripe guy. I was thinking about that, and I will say two letters for a fact. I'm not going to swear right now. But if I were to say I'm one ripe MF or son of a whatever, okay? I'm the one that's like in basics of college right now. I should probably learn that. But what is that called? That amplifier, that noun amplifier onto a phrase. I don't want to lose that, but I definitely want to stop swearing. So I'm one ripe guy, dude, bro, broman soldier. Hope all is well, my people's brethren. Got a little Bible time, and I'm in a rush because I got a class here in about 3 hours, and I got to go to the library and study. That's my life. This is my life, or at least a sizable portion of it for a couple years. Yeah, about 3 or 4 years, my guys. My guy, that is just awful. Don't ever... Now everyone in the comments is going to be saying my guy. But the thing is my guy, when written out, when you see it on the page, is not as bad as my guy in audio form. What if they get to the point where you can leave an audio message? I believe you can as a super chat, right? I probably should be plugging that to make some money off this channel. But that's not what we're here about right now. We're here about some coffee and some time efficiency and some Bible. So last time I wanted to talk about something for a second. Don't remember what it was. Got a live stream. Oh yeah, that's what it is. Okay. Redoing my schedule. I dropped a class and might pick up one. It's looking good. I'm learning about how fast I read, how fast I study, things like that. Learning about the pros and cons of online school versus IRL. First of all, one of the pros is you can take a lot of these classes at your own pace, or at least most of the course. So I'm working on doing that. The con is, of course, that you don't get any human interaction, which is starting to, it's forcing me to get organized with some of my bros and talking to some girls too, which is great. Always nice to talk to a female. But is it though? Anyway, but my point is, because of that, I'm normalizing my schedule. And another realization is people my age, for the most part, they just can't hang out and do stuff during the day. So what do I do during the day is, build my life around like I have a 9 to 5, even though I'm not required to have one. So, but because of that, I think we're going to do 2 live streams a week going forward. And I know I've said that. Okay, listen to me. Come here. Hey, come here. Come here, hug me. I know my integrity as a live streamer has taken some hits over the years, guys. Okay, we can't change the past. We just can't, guys. We must mush. Whoosh, we must press on forward. So I'm thinking, dang it, my phone's over there. Can I peer into the wilderness? I believe 2 o'clock Central Time. Maybe 1. Oh, I want to get up and check so bad. I'm getting up, dude. I'm getting up. I can't help myself. I want you and nobody else. Dun, 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 dun. All right. Yes, 2 o'clock. 2 o'clock Central Time. Tuesday and Thursday. We're going to try that. We're normalizing. The trains are going to run on time. So Tuesday and Thursday is going to be called, I think, just the weekly notice. I'm not sure, but I want to see you guys more. Come here, I want to do some more, and we got some good cases, some good debate style cases. I've been trying to channel my inner Jesse Lee Peterson. Think for yourself over the next 24 hours about the biblical case for both assisted suicide and unassisted suicide. We got some takes from the internet. That's my plug. Send a super chat if you want to be heard. Do a membership if you want to I think the perks, you get some sort of emoji, Are you a gay person? I'm not. Okay. Genesis 10 and 11 today. Yeah, the Table of Nations and the Tower of Babel. Babel. I think it's Babel because it's like that's where the word Babel comes from, right? All right. And in the last scene, we had the curse of Ham/Canaan, and that was because he uncovered his father's father's nakedness, and that can mean a number of different things. We'll leave it up to the scholars to make that decision, and actually leave it up to the Lord himself, of course, but we get there through study. All right. And then we got the Table of Nations. This is one of my favorite chapters of the Bible because it's how the different people groups spread out initially after the flood. And keep in mind during this time, I think that they're having tons of kids. All these people were polygamous, I think. And certainly the non-Christian ones, the ones from the lines of Ham and... I guess the lines of Ham would be considered the non or the apostate line. I don't know how all that works, but I think these people are having gangs of kids. Just a hunch, not sure. From what I gather about ancient cultures, but these are the generations of the sons of Noah, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. Sons were born to them after the flood. The sons of Japheth: Gomer, Magog, Madai, Javan, Tubal, Meshech, and Tiras. And of course, it says that they had their wives they were with on the boat, but also, I believe these guys as well were about 100 to 150 at the time of the flood, maybe 100. And I think they probably took other wives in the form of like incest, but I think that they were just sprouting, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, Japheth, sons of Japheth, and these were Europeans. These were our brethren. If you're not a Japhethite, you can still stay. But 10 and 2, you know what I'm saying? Sorry. Gomer, Magog, Madai, Javan, Tubal, Meshech, and Tiras. And there's some great videos online about geographically which of the who these people are or where they went, because they became nations. The sons of Gomer were Ashkenaz, Riphath, and Togarma. The sons of Javan were Elisha, Tarshish, Kittim, and Dodanim. From these the coastland peoples spread in their lands, each with his own language, by their clans in their nations. And the thing is that I, on one hand, because I did a little study, there's another name for people group, genetic people group. You probably will not be surprised by the word that I'm talking about. It's genos, because there's ethnos, and that's what became nation or ethnic group, and there's genos, which became genetic, or just genetics. Anything with genos is the original word for it in the Greek. And I will concede that of the two, genos does have more of a biological or blood connotation. But I also will not concede that ethnos will ever have a 0% blood or biological connotation, you see. Because ethnic group, sure, does have geographic, linguistic, and religious connotations, but it always has a non-zero. And I would argue, and at a certain point when you're talking about culture and people, when you go to the pie chart mode, it's just a mistake. If you're trying to search out the truth, if you're trying to rhetoricize someone, and use your propaganda to try to enact an outcome, which who can blame you? It's fine, but people aren't pie charts. A person is not a pie, and a person is who they are, their identity, their immutable characteristics are not a pie chart. But I would say if it was, it'd be more than 50%. It's more than 50% blood. There's language and there's other things as well. But I will concede that that genos is just straight up biology. That's just straight up blood. Where were we? The reason I'm saying that is because it says basically what a nation is. From these, the coastland peoples spread in their lands, each with his own language, by their clans in their nations. It kind of like satisfies all the marks. But what's interesting in that list, what is not there? Ideas. There's no belief in anything. There's no merit. I guess the merit is who survived, but they believed in democracy. They believed in fascism. They were ideal. There's no ideology anywhere in that right there. I swear every single time I read Genesis 10, I get more and more. I've probably read this chapter more than any in the Bible. This might be number one because I've started Genesis a bunch of times. I've started the Bible a bunch of times. I've gotten through Genesis, and I'm just like kind of a unironic eugenicist. So I'm trying to, and a political guy. So I'm like trying to see the origin of things, but a nice one, like a cool one. So by their clans in their nations. Now we're picking up here at 10:6, Genesis 10:6, English Standard Version. The sons of Ham were Cush, Egypt, Put, and Canaan. And I believe that word for Egypt is Mizraim in most of the versions. I don't know why they have that there, but Cush, Egypt, Mizraim is Egypt. Put and Canaan. The sons of Cush were Seba, Havilah. And of course, Canaan is the Jebusites, the Girgashites, all those ites, all the ites, you know what I'm saying? That's what Canaan was. Ham, Africa. Cush, I believe, is Ethiopia. Egypt is Egypt. I don't know where Put is. I don't know. Sons of Cush, Siva, Havilah, Sabta, Rama, and Sabtika. The sons of Rama were Sheba and Dedan. Cush fathered Nimrod. He was the first on earth to be a mighty man. He was a mighty hunter before the Lord. Therefore it is said, like Nimrod, a mighty hunter before the Lord. The beginning, and we'll get back to some of these verses in a second. The beginning of his kingdom was Babel, Erech, Akkad, and Calneh in the land of Shinar. From that he went into Assyria and built Nineveh, Rehoboth-ir, Calah, and Rezin between Nineveh and Calah. That is the great city. Egypt fathered Ludim, Anamim, Lehabim, Naphtuhim, Pathrusim, Kasluhim, from whom the Philistines came, and Caphtorim. So if we get back to Nimrod real fast, I mean, I've done a little bit of a YouTube dive on that one there, and I don't know, man, because I don't want to get too political or whatever, but it is faith in politics. I mean, it's basically faith, politics, morals, being a man, growing up way too late is basically what this channel is, you know what I'm saying? But what's interesting is, and one of the regulars at the show here, Loaded Wrench, will sympathize with this one, or this is kind of, I'm speaking to him because I've done a couple of response videos, and he's one of the regular engagers, so why not? I was just watching this Chuck Missler thing, which he was a famous, I think he might be dead now, famous. Was a pastor for decades, man. He's done everything from, the physics of Genesis to the end times to everything. He's preached through like everything. I don't know if that's literally true, but if you go through the playlist, that he's one of these guys where, there's more content that people have pirated from him over the years than stuff he uploaded himself. He's a prolific pastor, right? And they're getting into the Hebrew, and at the same time, I'm studying, or I'm getting into the Septuagint being the true scripture of the Old Testament claim from Corey Mahler, from Stone Choir, and people have made it before, of course. I think even some of the church fathers made that claim. I think a lot of the church fathers didn't need to make that claim because they were pre-Masoretic text in the first place. But here's my point: is these guys go into the Hebrew, and they're absolute wizards about figuring stuff out. And I'll plug one of these guys in a second. I hope I'll plug him. I don't know if his name is so basic. Anyway. Missler, this guy I'm about to plug, they have so much stuff to say, and it brings up one point that if Hebrew isn't the true scripture, Does it still have value? Of course it still does. I mean, I'm sure no, even your most hardline Septuagint guy, a person like that might be called a Septuagintite. I don't think they would ever argue that the Masoretic text is not beneficial or is not even the word of God, is just not as pure. Look, I'm not your guy to filter all this stuff through, but here's my point. That big picture question aside, okay, that huge picture of like, we haven't been reading the Bible for 80 years or whatever, or like 500 years or whatever. That aside, okay, all the people that are hyper wizards on the Old Testament, because they get into the Hebrew, are like the biggest rabid, hyper biased Zionists, man, to be frank. There's this one and I'm sure the old heads or people that have been in the game about these Zionist pastors will laugh if I drop this name, but he's new to me, is this guy, David Pawson. And he's so good on overview of the Bible, overview of the books, so the symbology stuff, everything. But he's like, I'm not Jewish. He's like, I want to be Jewish. There's nothing I want more than to be Jewish. He's dead now. I'm not making fun of him because he's dead, but it's like, he's like, this nose, I wish this was a Jewish nose. I'll show this clip on my show. And it's like, we'll save it for my show. But my point is that, is there a correlation between like being like hyper into the Hebrew and wanting to be a Jew and like being down with Israel bribing our politicians and subverting our ways and like, you know, like, I don't know. It's very interesting. It's making me second guess everything. I mean, we're reading from a Bible that's this Masoretic text right now. I mean, it's all Masoretic. I got an LXX in there, and it's like missing some verses, dog. Like, I don't know what to think of it, but I do. Here's what I know: that God is great. God is so much more powerful than what he even does. What he chooses to do, he is so much more powerful than that, so much more great than that. And I think he can preserve his word. And yeah, and I don't think you need to read the Septuagint to be saved. I better not. We better not believe that. You know what I'm saying? So we're in it right now. But my point, okay, here's my point. This guy that I've watched hours and hours of, it's called like Connecting the Bible. That's what it's called, Connecting the Bible. And he makes the case that Nimrod wasn't even a guy. I've talked about this before on air and in short videos. He makes the case that Nimrod was not even a guy. So let me try to give you the rundown on this. Okay, it says Cush fathered Nimrod. And if you think about that from the point of just, because not all these words mean what we think. Not all of them mean what we think. Erase any preconceived notions. You don't know who or what Cush is. You know that Cush is a person, right? You know that because he's going through a genealogy. And he hasn't said anything about fathering anything up to this point. Yes. He talks about the sons of Japheth, the sons of Gomer, the sons of Javan. And then certain peoples spread out into their lands, okay? The only thing that, like, adjective so far, basically, in the English, or I guess a verb, I should say, so far, is these coastland peoples spread out. This is in 10:5 right now. From these, the coastland peoples spread in their lands. Then it goes back to calling things sons of. The sons of Ham, Cush, Egypt, Put, Canaan. The sons of Cush, Seba, Havilah, Sabta, Rama, and Sabteka. The sons of Cush, Seba, Havilah, Sabta, Rama, and Sabteka. You know who's not named in that list is Nimrod. Why? I don't know why, but I'm just trying to reconstruct this guy's argument. The sons of Cush, Seba, Havilah, Sabta, Rama, and Sabdika. The sons of Rama, Sheba, and Dedan. Cush fathered Nimrod. Didn't list him in the sons. Now think about this. You know who Cush is. Okay, Cush is a son of Ham. Who's Nimrod? He fathered Nimrod. This guy argues that he brought forth something called Nimrod, and Nimrod is a proper noun, but it's not a person. What is Nimrod? Nimrod is the rebellion. He brought forth Nimrod, which means rebellion. But this is like a great rebellion. And this guy was a mighty hunter before the Lord, but it wasn't Nimrod. It was Cush. Cush brought forth this proper noun rebellion. Cush was the first on earth to be a mighty man. Cush was a mighty hunter before the Lord. Therefore it is said, like Nimrod, the proper noun for the rebellion, a mighty hunter before the Lord. The beginning of his Cush kingdom was the cities that we mentioned earlier. And then it does not mention the names Nimrod or Cush the rest of that paragraph. Now, if we go forward to the Tower of Babel, it is in the land of Shinar. We'll get to that in a second because we're going to read it. But it's fascinating. And he gets into the original Hebrew, which is a big problem if the Septuagint is the only scripture. But we're going to leave that aside for a really long time for much smarter people than me. But it's fascinating to think that Nimrod wasn't even a guy. That Nimrod was the name of the rebellion. I'm not sure. Where are we? Catherine, yeah, okay. All right, sweet. Let's focus because I got to bounce. I'm stinking, I'm late, I got to study. I so don't want to call it off because we're flowing. But anyway, 10:15. Canaan fathered Sidon, his firstborn, and Heth. Put something in the description if you know anything about what I'm talking about anything, any red pill gravy on this Genesis stuff. That's why we're here, dog. I love that stuff. Okay. Canaan fathered Sidon, his firstborn, and Heth. Heth is a often mentioned name later. I believe the tomb that Abraham buys is from the sons of Heth. Maybe I'm wrong. And the Jebusites. Canaan fathered Sidon, the firstborn, and Heth. And here's the ites, right? And the Jebusites, the Amorites, the Girgashites, the Hivites, the Arkites, the Sinites, the Arvadites, the Zemarites, the Hamathites, and the Hamathites. Ham fathered Canaan, and then Canaan is the father of the Hamathites. Afterward, the clans of the Canaanites dispersed, and the territory of the Canaanites extended from Sidon in the direction of Gerar as far as Gaza, and in the direction of Sodom, Gomorrah, Admah, and Zeboim as far as Lasha. These are the sons of Ham by their clans, their languages, their lands, and their nations. To Shem also, the father of all the children of Eber, the elder brother of Japheth, Yeah, okay. That's weird. That's worded weird. So Eber, the children of Eber. So Shem is because there's all this debate too about what is the order of the birth of the sons of Noah. To Shem also, the father of all the children of Eber, the father of all the, I'm my own grandpa, I'm my own. This is some I'm my own grandpa stuff, dude. To Shem also. So Shem is the father of all the children of Eber. So is that saying that Shem is Eber, bro? the father of all the children of Eber, the elder brother of Japheth. Is that saying, are we getting some gravy? Are we getting some gravy on air, dog? Is that saying, am I just retarded? I just hit the gym so hard. My brain's cooked. Shem also. Shem is the father of all of some children. He's a father of a bunch of children. Those children are the children of Eber. And one of those two, I don't know how it works out, is the elder brother. I think that's saying that Shem is Eber, dude. Anyway, to Shem also, the father of all the children of Eber, the elder brother of Japheth, children were born. The sons of Shem were, and in this line, is there not, okay, the children of Eber, so Eber's later. I'm just going to read it. I got to bounce really bad. I'm sure this is seeing me freak out over this gravy is entertaining, but I just got to go, dude. I got a life. All right, okay. The sons of Shem. So Shem is the elder brother of Japheth. That's what I'm reading at least. Shem is older than Japheth. Okay. So that means Japheth is not the oldest, right? To Shem also, the father of all the children of Eber, the elder brother of Japheth. Children were born. The sons of Shem were Elam, Asher, Arpachshad, Lud, and Aram. The sons of Aram were Uz, Hul, Gether, and Mash. Arpachshad fathered Shelah, and Shelah fathered Eber. To Eber was born two sons. The name of the one was Peleg, for in his days the earth was divided, and his brother's name was Joktan. And I believe that's in his days, meaning the Tower of Babel. And also, I heard that I'm like speaking like a wigger in this video. When I'm like when I be dwelling on some profundity, I turn into one. But I was hearing that the name Hebrew was kind of a psyop as well. The word Hebrew, not that it doesn't exist. Like I heard that Abraham the Hebrew, which is the first time that word is mentioned in the Bible, was like smuggled in there. And I also heard that Eber is not even the root word for Hebrew. I heard that was a myth. And these are kind of unconnected, but get so much gravy, just ladles out of just these few passages. But 10:25. We're not going to do 11 today. To Eber were born two sons. The name of the one was Peleg, for in his days the earth was divided, and his brother's name was Joktan. Joktan fathered Almadad, Sheleph, Hazar-Maveth. I was better than this a couple years ago during Green Pastures. Hazar-Maveth, Jerah, Hadoram, Uzai, Diklah, Obal, Abimael, Sheba, Ophir, Havilah, and Jobab. Prolific. All these were the sons of Joktan. The territory in which they lived extended from Mesha in the direction of Siphar to the hill country of the east. These are the sons of Shem by their clans, their languages, their lands, and their nations. These are the clans of the sons of Noah according to their genealogies in their nations, and from these the nations spread abroad on the earth after the flood. There it is, dog. I got my mushroom coffee, legal and non what's the word? Of course, non-psychedelic, but non-mind altering. The chaga, the lion's mane, is gonna make this grow back. Hopefully. Fascinating stuff, man. All out of gravy for the day. We'll be back with another video tomorrow, and we'll be streaming tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern time with the weekly notice. Yeah, we're going to do that. Because the morning I get up, and I'm trying to lock in the morning. Lord help me. Lord God Almighty help me with my mornings. It's so hard, dude. And when I pray for that, the God knows deep down that I'm really praying for my evenings. That evening is hard to master. It's hard to get in there before 10:15. You guys must know what I'm talking about. I feel like no matter what your lifestyle, this is something that unifies all men. Just unifies all men. It's hard to get in there before 10. Because when you get into bed and no one's, we aren't Navy SEAL. I'm not Jocko Willink, okay? I can't fall asleep in like Navy SEAL 6 minutes, 7 minutes. I don't do your breathing exercises. I fall asleep with 2 phones in my bed, spurging out, ruining my hormones like a real man, okay? Spurging out, 2 books next to me, 2 phones in the bed. Nary a page has been touched out of these books. Two phones, 2 battery chargers in my bed, watching TV shows that, maybe aren't sinful, but are surely a waste of time. Staying up way too late, screen fried, fried eyes, fried hair. I'm struggling, and it's all my own fault. Prayer requests be like, everything's from the outside. Like, I need some help with me. What if I'm the weapon formed against you and me, Lord? And it can't, and to like take the weapon from this earth would be a sin in and of itself. We're talking about this all tomorrow. It's a pretty good plug for the stream tomorrow. We're going to talk about all of this tomorrow and more on your favorite show, The Weekly Donut. So that's it. 2 o'clock tomorrow. Normalizing my spread. Studying between 3 and 5 hours today, but not today. It's going to be about an hour and a half if you're lucky. That's it. We'll be back with the Tower of Babel tomorrow. I love you guys. 2 p.m. Switching the time up. I'm going to try to get in there and switch up. Go into this description. I will find that guy's channel. It's called Connecting the Bible, but I'll look for it. Makes the case that Cush is Nimrod, that Nimrod is the actual rebellion. Peace out. Love you.